Okay. Looks like I'm live in the right place. Hi. How's everybody doing today? I've been in on calls all day, except for about an hour between my last call and now, where I laid in the hammock out in the yard for a little while and just like stared at the trees. It is beautiful here today. All day it was like overcast, and for the last 2 days it's been overcast and rainy the day before last, but yeah, and yesterday as well. But today it is around 4 o'clock. It just started to clear up here, and it is just so beautiful. It's about 60. Let me see. What is it now? It's cool. It feels good. It was like a high of 72 today. 71 it says it is, but it feels cooler than that with the breeze. It's just so beautiful here. How's everybody doing? I'm just going to take a moment to just drop in because we are going to chat for like a minute or two about this inner wise woman, and then we are going to segue into a practice where we're going to connect with our inner wise woman. And so I'm going to give it just another minute or two just to make sure that whoever wants to be here live makes it here on time. And the replay will be in the group regardless. I will at some point delete the live, probably a week from now, download it and upload it to our Facebook page, and then I'll put it in the guide section here in the group. So they'll all be there. The first two are already there. This is episode 3. The first one was awakening, embracing your witchy awakening. The second episode was the witch wound, which was a really, really great episode. And then this one with the inner wise woman. We have one of these every Thursday. I was doing 6 p.m. New York time. I'm going to be moving that up to 4 p.m. New York time. I think that'll be easier for my friends in the UK. It'll be easier for me as well. All right. Okay, let's see. Hi, Missy. Long time no see. How are you, lovely? Okay, looks like we're good. So let's talk about this inner wise woman. So I call it the higher self. And that is really what has been my higher power for the most part. And how I receive all of my intuition. I don't really connect with other beings. I don't really work with deities. I don't, aside from the energies of the earth itself and the energies of earth, air, fire, and water, ancestors sometimes I will work with. But other than that, I don't work with deities. I don't worship. And a lot of this is due to religious trauma. And I had to go back to the basics, okay? In order for me to believe in my own intuition enough, and for me to believe in my own spirituality enough, and for me to connect myself to that higher version of myself, is really what I needed to step fully into my power. I believe that there is a higher energy, a higher force, if you will, an energetic force that holds the universe together and that flows through all things, that is our life force energy, and it's what animates us, it's what animates flowers and plants and trees and animals, and it is a version of consciousness, right? And so we all have different levels of consciousness, and so do all the other beings that are alive here on the planet. And for me, learning how to connect to that inner wise woman, that inner version of myself that on a quantum level has already been through this lifetime, has already been through all the lifetimes, has already done everything that I'm ever going to do, has already been through everything that I'm ever going to be through, that I can connect with that version of myself because she's always with me, right? So this is how I see it and how I picture it in me. So there's this version of ourself that is our higher self, and that is the version of ourself that is not in this fraction of, that is not this fraction of us. So I see it as we are greater beings than this, and we are living many lifetimes from many points of view across time and dimension. And we have a connection back to our own higher self, our own oversoul, and it is the consciousness of us that is us, but it's us, our wholeness that we can tap into, but we are not necessarily experiencing the world as that. You know, we're experiencing the world as our identity here as a human being. I hope that makes sense. But yet this is the part of us that is our gut feeling. It's our intuition. It is that thing that tells us that something's not right when we're not sure why, but we just know that it's not. It's that thing inside of us that tells us that we're doing the right thing, right, and to keep going. It is that little voice inside of you that is not judging you when you're judging you. It is that voice inside of you that of reason, that calm, quiet whisper that we only really hear when we're not allowing the voice of the ego to come through, which is the fear and the worry and the strong identification with our outside personality and with the things that other people have labeled us, and labels and societal roles and things like this. So when we're able to push those things aside and to just be, that's what comes through. And that is what I connect with when I connect with intuition. And that is what I connect with in order to access my higher power as well. And so if you think about it, how many times have you sought, or I have too as well, sought the counsel and comfort of others, not realizing that we hold deep reserves of compassion and wisdom within ourselves, within our own bodies, within our own minds, and within our own souls. And how many times have we looked outward for an answer, but we feel a sense of resolution only when the answer within is revealed? And that is what I enjoy so much about what it is that I've been doing. In some cases, there are, in the conversations, the coaching and the mentoring conversations, or just the regular conversations that I'm having with people, where I can validate how they feel and that I feel the same way, and I can help them see things from a point of view that will help them to get over the hurdles that they're at. But for the most part, my job is not to give anybody the answers to anything, right? It is to ask the questions that will bring out the inner wisdom in a person. So it is really, this idea is for you, you're healing yourself. You are awakening your own inner wise woman. And it's through the ritual of getting outside of your comfort zone, getting on a call with someone who you know is going to call you to step up and be the highest version of yourself, someone who is going to hold you to the vision of that maybe you can't even see now, but of your highest potential, of someone who can hold space and ask you those hard questions that maybe you don't know the answer to until you hear your higher self, your inner wise woman, tell you the answers. And that is how we create transformation. Also, it's through daily practices and things like this. It's connecting. And we connect in magic. We connect with the rituals that we do are essentially designed for us to focus our intention, build up this essence, this willpower, this divine will that we have, in order to get our intention all wrapped up in our essence, in order to release it to the universe, right? And it's also about being open enough to allow it to come and to come into fruition and to manifest in a way that is for the good of all, right? And so maybe not to tie ourselves to specific outcomes so much, but to trust in our higher self and to trust in this greater force of nature, this greater force of life. To trust that it's all going to fall into place, because the universe is ever expanding and the universe is always moving back towards a state of balance, no matter how unbalanced or imbalanced it may seem. And so this kind of confidence and this kind of ability to step fully into our own power, into our own authenticity, comes from this deep connection with this inner wise woman. And it comes from being in community and right relationship with divinity, the divine within us and in all things, but also in a relationship with other women and in community with other women. And that's why we're going to do circles, which I'm so excited about. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to them. So this is just going to keep getting more interesting. But the practice of cultivating this relationship with our inner wise woman is not something that many of us are taught. It's not something that we would even think exists, because we are kind of turned away from that, right? And we're taught to look for everything outside of ourselves. But it is indeed one of the most powerfully nurturing acts of self care that we can offer to ourselves. It is one of the single most empowering things that we could ever do for ourselves, is to connect with this wise woman within. And when we travel the web of time to commune with our past and our future selves through quantum leaps and through past life regressions, we open to the immense and timeless matrix of this sacred feminine. And it's healing and it's empowering. And she is just begging to be released and unleashed in the world. And in a lot of ways, she is being released and unleashed in the world. She's been suppressed for too long. Your inner wise woman has been suppressed for too long. For a couple generations at least. Probably closer to 2,000 years. That, that the divine feminine has been suppressed and repressed in the world. So how's everybody making out so far? Let me check the comments. Hi, Rachel. How you doing? It's so lovely to see you. All right, are we ready to drop in? So let's drop our feet flat on the floor and sit up straight, put nice and comfortable, not too rigid. Bend your chin down just a little bit to straighten out the back of your neck. And just breathe deeply in through your nose. Hold it for a few moments and then blow back out. And just breathe like that for a couple of times at your own pace. Deeply. Hold for a moment. And just allow all the tension of the day to just melt away. Allowing yourself to fully relax. With another deep inhale, give yourself permission to leave this space and to leave this time and to travel the web of time on a strand that leads to the past. Way back to a moment when you were in crisis, when you most needed the support and guidance of the wise woman that offers nothing but unconditional love. A moment when you felt alone, when you felt isolated, or when you felt unseen. Imagine this moment with perfect clarity. You know every detail. But this time is different. This time, you are seeing it through the eyes of an observer rather than the participant. You see your younger self in this moment and feel with immediate clarity how a younger you is feeling. You know what she most needs in this moment. She sees you, and without a word, you go to her. You embrace, feeling an enormous wave of love for this beloved self of yours. Looking into your eyes, her own older, wiser eyes, she asks you why you've come, and you answer her. In this moment, you tell her exactly what it is that she needs to hear. You offer the understanding and the compassion and the love that no one but you could give her. You are there for her as long as she needs you. Before leaving, you ask your younger self if she has anything else to ask or to give voice to. And she says yes. Listen as she speaks. And then offer the response that she most needs to hear in this moment. When you are both ready, you prepare to return to the present moment once again and remind her that you are here for her anytime she needs you. She nods and smiles, and with one hand over your heart, you wave goodbye. With a gentle breath, you are aware of your body once again, here in this space and in this time. Settle in and follow your heartbeat, sinking into your own natural rhythm. And now, bring to mind an issue or a challenging situation that you are currently struggling with. Allow yourself to imagine the details of this situation, the people, the places involved. What's at stake? And with ease and grace, you now call your future self. Ask for her presence and guidance. Instantly, she appears. You take a moment to notice everything about her and feel a wave of admiration for that wise woman before you. I am here to help you, beloved, she says, and you tell her your dilemma. She listens carefully, attentively, and then tells you exactly what you need to hear. She offers her support without judgment and offers love unconditionally. And you feel heard and supported in a way that you've never felt loved and supported before. And she asks you if there's anything else you would like to ask or give voice to. And you say yes. She listens to you speak. And she responds. She shares the wisdom that you need to hear most in this moment. What is she saying to you? Thank her, your future self, for her guidance. And before she leaves, she reminds you that she is here for you always, anytime you need her. And with a smile, she fades, and you become once again aware of your body, right here, right now, in this time and space. Slowly moving your body, your fingers and your toes. You prepare to open your eyes. Welcome back. I would love to know what comes up for you during this little exercise. And I have a couple of questions for journaling and for deeper introspection if anyone's interested. I will type them in. I'll type them in the chat if anybody wants. Ideally, the questions you would want to ask are, what messages have you internalized about your ability to heal your own spiritual or emotional wounds? What cultural messages have you internalized from the outside world about your ability to heal your spiritual and emotional wounds? For me, it was I needed to go outside of myself for healing, that I couldn't do it on my own, that I couldn't do it without the need of a middleman. In what ways are you currently preventing yourself from connecting with your inner wisdom? How do you get in your own way? What are those stories that you tell yourself that stop you from hearing your own inner wisdom? And what would it feel like if you gave yourself permission to prioritize your healing? What if you gave yourself permission to put that first? These are the things that made all the difference for me. And believe me, healing doesn't just end. It's not one of those things that just ends. We're always healing in layers, you know. There'll be times when things come back up that you thought you had already healed, to heal another layer of it. And that's okay. It's a journey. It's not a destination. But you have this inner wise woman, and she's always available to you. You can speak to your future self at any point. You can speak to your past self at any point. It's quantum healing. You can tap into your future self for advice, for wisdom, for messages, for any kind of knowledge. You can tap into your past self for permission, for healing, to learn how to let go, or for closure. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. And I need to get off and make dinner. I will be back Thursday next week at 4 p.m. New York time. And I will announce what next week's theme is in a couple of days. I got a couple that I'm juggling with, and I'd like to do a meditation and ask my inner wise woman which one I should do next week. I hope that you all have a beautiful evening. Mwah. I love you, ladies. And I will see you soon.